Welcome to the G3 show. This is episode 1 and I'm your host, Ruben Quinones. The purpose of this video is just to introduce our course, Healthy Environments for Student Learning. So if you're watching this and you're not in my course, that's strange, but welcome anyway. Let me talk first about a quick overview of the whole course. This is the third year I've taught this course, and it's actually kind of grown on me. The basic topic is healthy environments refers to think about everything else that we need in our classroom to be successful. That is, we've talked in other modules about how students learn, how to plan, how to create assessments, how to teach reading and writing, how to work with English learners, how to work with special ed students. We've talked about all those things, but those are all sort of cognitive things. How does a good lesson plan engage its students, for example? Here we're thinking about kind of everything else. The physical layout of the classroom, the physical layout of the school, the fencing around the school, security on campus. We're thinking about teachers' well-being. We're talking about recognizing bullying and cyberbullying in the classroom, mandated reporting, the safety plan for the school, pretty much everything else needed to keep a school running safely. This next segment is a segment I like to call, Do I Ask Myself Questions? Yes, I do. First question, who am I? My name is Ruben Quinones, and I am a teacher. That's my day job. I teach high school ELD at Mount Diablo High School in Concord, and I've been there for 12 years. I also teach Spanish some years. I'm credentialed in Spanish and French, although I've never gotten to teach French, sadly. I've been an instructor with Fortune School for about 5 years, 6 years, maybe. I received my master's through Fortune School from UOP, and that was 2012. Got my credential through Fortune School also about 10 years ago. And going back even further, I went to UC Davis for my bachelor's degree, and I studied French and Russian. So, next question, what are your hobbies? What are my hobbies? Well, I love languages. I never get tired of studying languages or talking about languages. I also love to read, love watching movies, love playing games, I love to travel. I love to play guitar and sing also. Am I single? I wrote that question down for myself. Am I single? No, I'm not. My wife, it's like 6:45 right now. My wife will come out pretty soon. I also have 2 children. They are 10 and 8 years old. Their names are Marcel and Mira. Are there any questions I won't answer? Yes. This next section is called Syllabus Talk. If you ever have trouble sleeping, just read the syllabus and that'll help. Just a few key points though from it. Number 1, the grade breakdown works like this. 25% of your grade in this class will be for participation. Because it's an online class, that is going to amount to basically our weekly forum, which is called Question of the Day. If you were with me in the Bay, you already know what this is. I'll explain that later. Also, your professional disposition checklist is part of participation. 50% of your grade is your weekly assignments. That's kind of the meat and potatoes of what you'll be doing week to week. Your assignments, I'll usually have you go and research something or do something, and then report back on that. Write something up. That's 50% of your grade. And then 25% of your grade is your culminating artifact, which is a slideshow called School Safety Review, in which you talk about a lot of different aspects of the safety in your school and give some recommendations. That sound means it's coffee. Do I drink coffee? Yes, I do. The question of the day is our forum. Question of the day will be available every Wednesday at 5 o'clock. And you'll have the rest of that day and the following day, till Thursday, at midnight to post and reply on here. Question of the day is not necessarily my question, it is our question, something that each one of us wants to ask and have answered. The question of the day has three parts. The first part, when you go in, you'll see the instructions, and then the first thing you'll see is my question. I will have posed a question already. You will respond to that question just by hitting the reply button there. Do not make a new comment to reply to my question, it's very confusing. Reply to my question with the reply button. After you've done that, then you can pose any question of your own. It can be anything that you want to know about your school, teaching, education, students, anything related to what we've been learning in this class. Pretty much anything is fine. And I think there's a box that says comment. Let me check. Excuse me, let me check that. It says write a comment, and in there you will write your question. You don't need to say, this is my question, just write the question. Then you have an option. You can either answer 2 other questions of people who posted before you, or you can leave and come back and then answer the question of someone who posted after you. So the reason we do this is that if everyone just has to respond to 2 other people, then the third person, from the third person on, the third DI who responds, everyone's just going to answer the question of those first 2 people. So those 2 people will have 20 or 30 different responses. Meanwhile, from the third question on, nobody's going to even bother answering those questions. So to give you a little bit of incentive, I switched it. You can do that. You can answer 2 people before you, or you can answer just 1 person who posts after you. Of course, that will take some time for that to happen. You have to leave and come back in order to make that happen. But just wait a few minutes, and someone will have posted. Next, now's a good time to talk about this. Because it's an online class, I think people have the tendency of equating this with like a Facebook chat or Reddit conversations. No, this is your work, and I expect it to be edited. I expect it to be to not have misspellings, to not have lowercase letters where they should be capitalized, to use punctuation, spell check, all of that stuff. This is your presentation of your professional self to us, and likewise mine to you. So I do expect your best work. So think of it this way. If you don't have time to check whether separated is spelled S-E-P-E-R or S-E-P-A-R, then you don't have time right now to complete your work to an adequate level. Give yourself enough time to make sure that it's all good. Look over your work before you submit it. If there are problems with it, I will absolutely ask you to redo it. Again, I expect you to give your best work. Another important point about both of those things, that question of the day, the deadline of question of the day is Thursday night at midnight. If you want to keep writing in that form, that's cool, but I'm only going to score those things there. The minimum number of posts is 3, and 1 being a post to me, 1 being your own question, and 1 being a post to someone who posted after you. That's the minimum number of posts. Then the other point is that late work is so disruptive for me. I will accept it, and you should do it, but I'm only going to assign 50%. Late work is only worth 50%. So make sure you get your stuff on time. If something is happening, I don't know, if there's some reason that you're not going to be able to do it, just let me know ahead of time. It's way better for me to know ahead of time that your work will be one day late than for me to be wondering what's happened, and then I have to check up on you. All right. The first assignment will be for you to post, for you to respond to this video, and it's going to be like this. Within assignments, I don't know if you've done this already or not, but within this assignment, you have the ability to create a submission. I think you hit submission and then create. Don't know exactly off the top of my head, but you're going to answer these 3 questions. Number 1, what is the minimum number of posts required for full credit for the question of the day? That's the first question. The second question is, where will you get feedback from me for your work? And I will answer this question right now. When I check your feedback, I have the option of putting a comment on the in the right margin, this little right box there. So I'll assign a grade, or if it's not acceptable, I will not assign a grade, and I'll put in the my sort of comment box on the side what I would like you to fix on it, and then I'll return it to you. So the box on the side, or the box that's attached to the comment box attached to your submission, is where you will get feedback from me. All right. Last thing, just a little bit about what a recommendation for this work. We have 5 sessions together. It's a pretty quick class, but there will be, because of a quick pace, every week builds on the week before it. So I expect you to keep up with this work. If you get behind, it's a huge problem. One thing that I recommend for you, one thing that I use for myself when I have a lot of work to do and I need to stay focused, is called a Pomodoro timer. I'm not sure if you've heard of this, but a Pomodoro timer basically is a 25-minute timer of work period with a 5-minute rest period. And then you cycle that. 25 minutes of work, 5 minutes of rest, of break. 25 minutes of work, 5-minute break. And actually, I'm going to include in here a Pomodoro timer video that you can use. I like to use it like on my phone, so I can still use my laptop. That might help you. In fact, I have another video in which I explain how to use that and how to stay focused. So I also recommend that you treat these hours kind of as sacred hours, similar to as if you were going into the center to do classes. Block off that time, from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock maybe, so you can have some peace and quiet, focus on your work, undisturbed. Maybe take a dinner break in there, but I think that'll be easier for you. I know that'll be easier for you based on previous years. Week-long assignments will be due typically Monday night. That gives me 24 hours to kind of go over everything and then record the new video and get this back to you. So, okay, I think that's it for this week's video. No, you're not going to have any special effects, no theme song on this one, sadly, but I think we are good. Did I ask a third question? No, I did not. So the third question that you need to answer is, what are some of the recommendations I gave you as far as your work and the quality of your work? So what are some recommendations I gave you about how to work and the quality of your work? Okay. I believe that is it. Okay, thank you. I'll see you next week.